This is the Songbird cooking. Now, as you can see, like I said, this video is not for anyone who can't eat fried food. This video is for people who can eat fried food. Okay? Now, again, I put slits in the chicken because it's thick, the drumsticks, and I like them cooked all the way through. And sometimes before it gets cooked all the way through, the outer skin can get too hard past the point of crispy, and we don't want that. So you don't want that. So you want it to be crispy, but you want it to be juicy, on the inside when you bite down. You don't want it to feel like the texture, to feel like it's like petrified wood. You don't want that. So again, I'm going to take out these onions, and I'm going to save. And I put the other chicken over here on paper. You want to make sure that you have something to absorb the oil. Okay? You want to make sure of it. You want to make some space right here. You don't want to move it too fast when you first put it in, because the flour can fall off. And then you just have a pot full of flour, and it'll burn, and it'll be horrible. And you don't want that. I'm going to put this big piece right there in the middle right there. You have to have space in the pan. You have to. I could probably squeeze one over there. Probably really don't want to, but if I can find a really small one, I will put it there. If it's small enough. You see how it's sizzling? Okay, the key to not having greasy fried food is, number one, don't, put something in a pan of oil if it's not sizzling like that. And if you put it in and it's not sizzling, it's not hot enough, which means what? It's going to absorb the oil. Now, I have 3 pieces of chicken in this pan, and I have 3 pieces of chicken in this bag of flour, so I'll just leave it like it is and let it wash off my hand. Over here, I got one hand cooking with one hand, holding the camera with the other, which is going to change this week. This week, that is going to change. And I was watching a YouTube class, and I like it. It's a really good class I was watching about how people see. Now you see how it's crisping up? You see that? See, that's really important. It's really important. If the oil is not hot enough, it's not going to crisp up like that. It's not going to do that right away. It'll just be soggy and greasy. You see? You see that? I just rolled it over slowly. Sometimes, like, if you move it too fast, the flour will fall off. And see, now I'm not going to move it, even though there's a space in the middle. I have to wait. You have to wait until it gets really, see the blood coming out. You have to wait until you know that flour is set and it's not moving. Now, this is the first piece I moved, so I'm going to slowly move that just like that towards the middle. The second piece I moved. Just sitting there about a minute. I can move it slowly. See, the flour's not coming out. See, you would know because you would see the flour floating up around it. So I'm just going to leave that just like that and just let it finish doing what it needs to do for about 7 minutes. You don't want to flip it every 2 minutes or anything like that. You want it to be done. If you flip it every minute, unless you have a deep fryer that has a temperature gauge that makes it stay a certain temperature. If you're using a pan, you don't want to move it every minute because you won't have any crust. You'll just have a pan full of crust floating around in the oil, none on the chicken. And it'll be a mess, you see? All right, so we're going to let that cook for about 7 minutes before I actually turn it to the other side. In my opinion, it takes 12 to 15 minutes to make one piece of chicken thigh, which there's 3 in here. So I'll say to 3 because the temperature, that changes the temperature to 3 together. If there was 1 in there, it would be faster because then the oil is going to be hotter. So there's 3 pieces of chicken in here. They're thick. They're nice fat pieces. See how golden it is? But it's golden, but it's not done. See, some people turn it out just simply because it's pretty. It's not time. It's not done. It's raw on the inside. Okay, that's just the crust on the outside, which is keeping the juice on the inside, which will make it stay nice and juicy on the inside. It's kind of like when you, what is the word? It's right on the tip of my tongue. When you sear a piece of meat. That's kind of what that crust is doing, you see. Keeping the juice inside. Okay, you can hear it sizzling. It's doing like it needs to be doing. You don't see anything floating around. Okay, so we're going to let that cook about 6 more minutes, and then I'm going to turn it over for about 5 to 6 minutes, and it'll be done. All right, you see a little bit of dot of blood coming out of there. That means it's cooking. The temperature is hot on the inside of the chicken where the bone is. That's what you want. Okay, so we'll come back and check that out. I'm coming back in here in about 5 minutes.